Hello there. Sorry, it's been a long day. I created 3 exams for a statistics course that I'll be teaching. So, long day. I wanted to take a quick break from Seneca for one video. Once in a while I do that. There is still so much. There is so much left. Anyway, I thought it would be fun to change things up a bit. Talk about something else that I've been thinking about. I'll stop doing this. I'm sorry. Microphone probably picks that up really loudly. It's been on my mind recently a lot, and I just wanted to talk about that. Try to tie it into a Stoic principles maybe. And let's just start. So, 2 days ago, I had an important day. I did my tenure conversion, and in my institution we call that a hearing. But in any case, I went from my tenure track to a tenured position where I teach and work. And that's fantastic, right? That's what every academic wants. They want a tenured position. So obviously I'm super happy. But I want to talk to you about setting goals and the dangers in setting specific goals when you make your happiness contingent upon those goals. So I don't mean to turn this into a negative topic, because it's not a negative topic, but I wish to describe a somewhat odd sensation. You have to forgive me for spending a couple moments on setting this up. I studied psychology, and I first obtained a Bachelor of Science degree. And that was really cool. But then I also knew I wanted to continue into a master's program. And I got my bachelor's degree. I was excited for it, but then I also thought, but I want more. So I obtained a master's degree, Master of Science. And I thought that's really cool, but what I really want is a PhD. So you have to find a PhD position, and I'll spare you all the details. At some point, I got that position. I started to work in that project. It was a difficult project, but a fascinating project. And you slowly build towards your PhD defense. Now, in the Netherlands, that is a public affair, so people, like random strangers, can come in, and you have opposition, so you have a committee of professors who ask you all sorts of questions about your dissertation. And if you answer them adequately, then you pass, and you get your PhD on the spot there in the Netherlands. On the spot, you get a massive parchment. And for me, it was an interesting journey, because during the PhD project, I was very nervous about defending. I thought there's no way I'll ever going to be able to provide sensible answers to all the questions I could be asked. And I've done so many different things and difficult results, different analyses, difficult analyses. So what will I say? Will I be able to have an answer, etc.? And then as the moment approached, I got calmer and calmer, and you do a practice defense with colleagues, and it went pretty well. And then I had the actual defense. And the strange thing is, for years, you work towards this. I knew very early on that I would really want to try and obtain a PhD. So again, it's the bachelor, in our case, 3 years, and then master's, 2 years, and then PhD, 5 years. It's a lot of time to be in school, right? And I really thought, once I have a PhD, I'm going to feel different. That's going to be a special moment. This is going to be a change in my life, a turning point, and everything is going to feel different. And I didn't really feel that when I got my bachelor's, and I didn't really feel that when I got my master's, but I thought, but that's because those are only means to an end. I wanted to get the PhD. So anyway, I defended, did well. I mean, well enough, because I passed. I got my parchment. I have a PhD. and then you walk out of the building. There's a little reception and you shake hands and all that stuff. And then I walked out and it felt good. But the next day that feeling was already gone. And I thought, yeah, that's it. I can call myself doctor now. And I have a PhD. What am I missing here? It feels like I should be feeling something that I'm not feeling. And I had my 10-year conversion. And when I was told they interview you, and it's a serious interview. It's not a given that you will get that. You have to really defend your teaching philosophy and your research plan, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's a serious interview. And when they told me, yeah, well, not in these words, but yeah, you got it, right? I mean, would you be a bit anticlimactic if they say, yeah, right, you got? I mean, it's a great moment, and there was this relaxation and elation. And honestly, I was wiped afterwards. I fell asleep at, I think, 10 p.m. and I slept for almost 10 hours straight. And then that was it. And again, I couldn't be happier. This is the position I wanted, and I'm incredibly excited to move forward in this position at this institution and continue doing what I'm doing. But it wasn't a life-changing experience. It was wonderful, but at the end of the day, I will continue to do the job that I've been doing for the past 4 years. So relatively speaking, what changes? Well, the job security, which is a massive thing. And again, I'm really not trying to underplay this. It's a massive event in my life. But here, I think, is the danger. When you make your happiness, I'm not saying that I did that, I'm just saying if you make your happiness contingent upon achieving certain goals, like an advanced degree or a permanent position here or there, or buying a big house or a nicer car or whatever, I think almost invariably that will lead to disappointment, because then you obtain that thing or have that thing, and then it's really fun for maybe a day or maybe 2 days, and then you're like, yeah, now what? Because now I have that thing. Most of my videos devote to fountain pens. People find this when they find their grail pen. They finally are able to purchase, or they find somewhere the grail pen, the pen they've been looking for a long time, and then they have it, and it's like, whoa, this is really cool. And then after that, it's like, yeah, now what? So I think this is a danger, and Epictetus warns against this, right? He says you have to be careful with what you, basically be careful what you wish for, be careful what kind of goals you set, because if you make your happiness contingent upon reaching those goals, if you don't reach those goals, you get anxious and it will be troublesome. But once you do reach those goals, well, then you've reached them, and then what? Right? Then what? I'm fairly strongly paraphrasing there, by the way. So I hope you'll forgive me for this sort of thought process of reasoning this through, but I think it's important to remind ourselves that our happiness should not be contingent upon these kinds of goals. Again, you have no idea how happy I am that I got this position, right? I'm not making light of it. It was hard work. I worked very hard for it, and I'm super excited that I have this. But at the end of the day, as I said, it's continuing the work I've been doing already. It's not that anything like magically changes in my life or whatever. So although it is great, it's not that I now think, yeah, now I'm happy. This is it. Done. Nothing else needs to be done. This is it. It just doesn't work that way. And I think we tend to forget that. I think we tend to habitually make our happiness very contingent upon this, that, or the other. Once I reach this, once I achieve that, once I obtain that, then I'll be happy or happier. But then you do that thing, obtain that thing, get that thing, and then you're not. Then you're not. You're just not, because nothing really changed. In the grand scheme of things, nothing really changed. and again, I think it's an important realization. It doesn't mean you can't appreciate these things. I certainly appreciate this job. I certainly appreciate my PhD defense and obtaining that PhD because it was a lot of work. But it's not that, forgive this potentially arrogant sounding statement, okay, it's 3 more letters after my name, but I already had 6. So, it's nice, but I mean, it's not a groundbreaking thing. It's just another couple more, right? So that, I don't know if I'm particularly cynical in that way, because I really don't mean to be. And I think I've emphasized enough how excited I am for all these things that have happened. Every single thing, the bachelor's, the master's, the PhD, this position, it's outstanding, it's astonishing, and I am happy. And I am very content in my life. But it wasn't a silver bullet that just, you do this and magically all your worries are gone, or everything is, the sun breaks through the clouds and everything is fantastic and everything. It's just not like that. So have realistic expectations and don't make your happiness truly contingent upon these kinds of bigger goals. Enjoy them when you achieve them, because you've worked hard to achieve those goals. That's what happens when you set bigger goals, ambitious goals. But don't have the expectation that things will magically change and trumpets sound and all that kind of stuff, because it just doesn't happen. I hope this makes sense. But I just want to share that. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've had experiences like this, where you set yourself a goal, you achieve it, and you're like, that was really cool. Now what? Let me know. I love to hear. Or am I the only one who's ever experienced this? Because that's possible too. In which case I should give that some more thought. Anyway, I hope this was useful. I will return next week with more conversations about Stoicism. Bye!